we are all completely screwed. We don't need to be worrying about any nuclear bombs. We need to be worrying about upgrading our phone plan or getting groceries. I got 2 phones here, and I'm a music channel, but I had to talk about something. And boy, do I have a story to tell about carriers, about automation, about AI, and a real worry I have. And also, I just want to call out a specific company because I think it's important. I'm Robert Monroe. I do a lot of music stuff. And so to all my music followers, I apologize. But I thought that this was important because this isn't a music issue. This is a human issue. And I really want to start really broad and then get very specific with a story. So what is this broad thing? It's that automation and automatic systems and now the integration of AI with it. But let's be honest, this is not an LLM thing. This is like 10 years old thing. It is getting really, really scary. And it's not scary in the way that you think it is. It's not AGI. It's not some robot coming to take my job and, threaten me and hit the nuclear codes, right? Nothing like that. It's being in an endless customer service loop where there is no zero. You cannot hit 0 to go to the operator. That is my nightmare. I want to give you a couple disarming statements, and then don't worry, I'll get to the juicy bits, the super juicy story about, I'll name drop, Xfinity. Any Xfinity fans out there? Oh, nobody's got their hands up? Doesn't surprise me. All right, we'll get into the juicy bits, but I want to give you just a couple stories because I do want to frame this in this greater conversation about humans and automation and whether we're shooting ourselves in the foot by designing a society that doesn't help anyone. This is not a right issue. This is not a left issue. This is not a technologist issue. This is not a Luddite issue. This is a human issue. I want to start with a quick story about moving to this house. So my wife and I, we needed a bigger house. We were in a really tiny house and we had 3 kids, 1 more on the way. And my brother, he's a super smart guy. He was like, hey, go get a bigger house. And I was like, I don't know if I can afford it. And it's like, okay, you know what? We got too many kids. We need more room. So we decide to move. And I rent a U-Haul to move. But I get real excited. I'm distracted. So guess what I do? I lock the keys in the cab. Well, I call up U-Haul and they go, well, we'll dispatch somebody to unlock the car for you. But it's going to cost you 200 big ones, just $200. And I'm like, that's basically almost doubling the cost of this U-Haul. But you know what? I just got to deal with it, right? I just got to deal with it. So I'm like, whatever, let's do it. The car is literally running. The truck's running. It's got all our stuff in it, but, I can't get in there. I skipped, the carjacking school in high school. So, I was screwed. So the guy gets there, unlocks it. We move. It's wonderful. And then I finally do the thing I was dreading, drive to the U-Haul store. And the lady checking me out is like, well, sir, here's the cost. And it was just the cost for the U-Haul. There was no charge for unlocking the keys, getting the keys out of the car and that service charge. And I'm like, there was supposed to be a service charge here because I did genuinely want to make sure that I paid for this man to drive 45 minutes out of his way to unlock the car for me. And the lady was like, no, there's no charge. And there's actually no way for me to charge you. Let me say that one more time. There was no way for her to charge me unless the automated system, now you're starting to get the point I'm trying to make, unless the automated system allowed her to. Okay, so that gives you one, but that's a fun one, right? Because I got away. I didn't cost as much, so I feel pretty good about it. The lady doesn't care. It's some faceless corporation, right? It's like in the movies where the people are just like, oh, don't be a hero at the bank because they're robbing the bank. And they're like, don't be a hero. Insurance is backing this up. So we're like, faceless company. Nobody's getting hurt, right? Let me give you this more recent one. And I'm going to kind of build up to it because let's be honest, that's actually chronologically how the story went. So I need faster internet for my business. I upload a ton of videos, over 100 videos every single month for my own channel and for my clients. So I need faster upstream. We get AT&T fiber. I'm like, wonderful. That's awesome. I transfer over. But there's one problem. My phone lines are still through lovely, lovely Xfinity. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my internet set up. Then I'm going to get the SIM cards for my AT&T service. And then I will unlock my AT&T service, get that all set up. And then I will then contact Xfinity and just return everything and be done. Because I had just bought a fancy new iPhone from Xfinity, and I was paying monthly because they bamboozled me into that. We can talk about all the different subscription services and fees and all that later. If this does well, we can get into all that loveliness. I do have opinions on that. But I was like, you know what? I know their tricks. So it's still within the return window. I got 15 days. Still got 15 days, by the way, but we'll see if I'm actually going to be able to return this phone. That's a teaser for later. I'm just going to get a phone from AT&T. So I got a phone from AT&T, got that set up, and then I was going to return this. That gets us to yesterday. I port the number over from AT&T over here. So now my old phone, which is a brand new phone, but follow with me here. My old phone is now no longer working, and I have this. I do one test call, it works. I'm like, wonderful, yay, that's awesome. That was super easy, or sort of kind of easy, just a couple hours, whatever. Then I go to do Google Maps to go get ice cream last night. Kids wanted their ice cream. Ice cream's got to happen. No Google Maps. I'm like, wait, I just want to know what Culver's is Culver's is closest to me, and it's not showing up. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then I start trying other things. I realize the data does not work on this phone. And then I go, okay, I'm a troubleshooting guy, and I like to do all the troubleshooting to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row. So when I call customer service, they're not going to immediately give me an article or a to-do list that I follow, and then they go, see, you didn't do the easy ones, and then they hang up on me, or the call lasts for like 3 hours. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to do all the things. Airplane mode, on, off, lovely, nope, no data. Wi-Fi, on, off, no data. Turn the phone off and on, no data. Cellular, on, off, no data. Okay, switch the APN, right, the network that your phone joins. You can't do that anymore. They stopped letting you do that. So now I only have one more option. I can delete the eSIM because I don't have a physical SIM card. I have an eSIM, right? A digital SIM. And I was like, that would be okay. I have a card that I just got from AT&T that has a SIM on it, right? That was my thought. No, it turns out it's just some crappy activation switch. It's not a QR code with an eSIM. You can't do that. You have to have some activation process. So it's a one user. So I used it. And so when I deleted it, my number went away. But this is where it gets fun. I'm like, okay, I'll just go online to my account. I log into my AT&T account, get in there, no problem. Then it goes, oh, you have to go to this other portal for your mobile number. And I'm like, that's odd. Whatever. Log into that sucker. Oh, you need a password. Okay, what's my password? Well, we'll text it to you. My number doesn't work. Well, you need a password. What's my password? Well, we'll text it to you. My number doesn't work. Circle. Now, again, just like before, just like the U-Haul story, there is no possible solution. Why? Because there is no way to get a human with enough authority to break these stupid cycles that only are possible to work if you do exactly what they tell you to do. And they're very easy to break. Very, very easy to break. It's like the world that we made was made by Bethesda. And it's got bugs like in Skyrim. And the unfortunate stuff is, unlike in Skyrim where it's funny, and then you restart it, and then you can keep playing the game, in this one, you're stuck. It's real life. Like, either your number is gone, or you're going to have to buy a new phone, or you're going to have to pay too much. It just sucks. So I call customer service finally because they weren't available at night. Call them this morning, and they go, I called them after I came back from the dentist because I was so disillusioned. I needed to go to the dentist, to get a dose of reality, to get some nice fuzzies out of my way. So I come back from the dentist. I call AT&T Don't worry, we're getting back to Xfinity. Xfinity is the real true arch villain. This is like a side story. This is like a side boss. I call up AT&T, and AT&T goes, oh, so you have access to your number, right? I'm like, no, that's why I'm calling you. Okay, so you have access to your account, right? I'm like, no, that's why I'm calling you. Well, you have access to your number, right? And it's the cycle again, but with a real person. And that's why I realized he's looking at the same automated system that I was looking at, and that's the whole customer service. Thankfully, he was a younger guy. He was very nice, and he just went, look, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm supposed to just do this back and forth for a while, but in reality, just go to a store. They'll sort you out in a couple minutes. So I set up an appointment. I head in there right when they open. This very lovely lady, shout out to the AT&T lady. She solves the problem in like 2 minutes. Now, what if there was no AT&T store near me? What was I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to wait 3 days for snail mail to send me another card? Am I supposed to drive 4 hours to an AT&T store? Like, I genuinely don't know what the backup plan was, because the sense that I was getting is unless there was a real physical store I could go to and talk to somebody in person, then there was no way. Now, to even further double down on this point, I then went across the street over to Xfinity. I'm like, great, my phone finally works. Let me return this sucker. So I go over to Xfinity, and the store goes, well, you deactivated this account. And I'm like, yes, I deactivated the account because I'm moving and I want to return this phone. Doesn't that make sense? Like sometimes I feel like I am in Zoolander and I'm the one taking crazy pills and I'm going to lose this runway show, because here's the deal. Let me walk you through my logic. I need to port my number, right? My number needs to go over. So I need to start AT&T first because my number needs to go over. I've heard the horror stories. I don't want my number stuck in a deactivated account because I deactivate my phone over here and my number has nowhere to go. So I get my number over. But guess what happens? That means the Xfinity account is automatically deactivated, which means my phone now is technically in like the Netherlands, where I still have to pay for it. Of course I have to pay for it. It's probably going to go up because, there's no deal anymore or whatever. But at the same time, it's now no longer tied to an account, so they can't find it. And so the guy in the store is like, look, I literally can't do anything. And it's early in the day, and I was way too optimistic. And so I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to be able to solve this, so I'm just going to not worry about it. I'm going to listen to what he's saying. He's like, here's the number. It's highlighted, which the highlighting I think also threw me off. I'm like, he highlighted it. It must be a special number. Oh, no. It was not a special number. So he's like, call this number. They'll set up a return. They'll send you a shipping label, and you'll get it out the door. And I'm like, wonderful. So I go home, go about my day. I find a little bit of time, and I'm like, all right, let me call this person. Maybe got an hour before I take my daughter to gymnastics. I'm like, let's go. So I go ahead and fire off the call. I'm on the phone. And again, guess what I get? The circular loop, right? It's always the same with these companies. And it's because they're all designed around the same flawed idea. We're going to make a perfectly automated customer service situation where every question is, if this, then that. But guess what? That's not how the world works. I'm sure that's how Oblivion was coded too. It's not going to cut it in the real world. So they were doing the if, then this, then that, whatever it is. The lady was going, well, your account's deactivated, so we can't find your phone. And I'm like, well, I see my phone here. You're still charging for it. That's why I want to return it. So we need to figure something out. And so finally, I break her little in-between system. I had to play hardball a little bit. I'm like, look, I need to return this phone. I know that there is someone there that has the authority to give me a shipping label and let me return the phone. And she goes, okay, fine. I'll work on it. And it seemed like I'd gotten through to her. Spent about 25 minutes on hold, right? Every 2 minutes checking back in. That's the thing that annoys me the most. That is the ultimate gaslighting. Are you still there? Oh, I just want to make sure that you're really cared for. And it's like, what would make me feel really cared for is if you actually were solving my problem. So she obviously goes, talks to a manager, whatever, comes back, goes, are you ready to get an address? First she says that they're going to send me a shipping label through email. Never got a shipping label. Then she goes, okay, all right, I'm going to give you an address. You walk into a FedEx store. So, okay, let me set the scene. She is telling me to walk into a FedEx store with my phone in a case, right? And an address on a piece of paper. And they're like, oh, we got to deal with FedEx. They will pay for the shipping and it'll go to our store. It's a corporate store. When it gets there, you'll get your money back in 5 to 7 days. And I'm like, that sounds insane. I literally was telling her, that sounds insane. And she's like, I know, but it does work. That's how it works. That's how it is done. And I'm like, I don't really believe you, but honestly, I got to go. So that's good enough. Sure, I'll try it out. Okay, fast forward to literally an hour ago. I get back. My wife's taking the rest of the kids. I just got my little baby with me, my little man. He's about 1 year old. And we go, okay. I don't want to do this, but I need to do this. I want to be done with Xfinity. So I load up my phone with my other phone. I drive over to FedEx and I put the box down. And I go, this is going to sound crazy, but Xfinity said that I could ship this back for free. You guys would take care of it. All I need is the address. And she goes, I used to work for Xfinity and they were telling us to tell that to people because Xfinity did not want to pay for the shipping. And that is a common thing that they tell people to gaslight them and also make sure that they don't have to pay for shipping. So I go, they got me. I put my hands up. Fine, you win. I just want to be done. So I go, okay, here's the phone. How much is it going to cost to ship? Sure enough, it's like $50. I'm like, this is insane, but whatever. It's still a lot cheaper than paying for this whole phone. So I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I'm like, but let me check this address. I'm not going to go into too many specifics because I don't want this nail salon to just get some random heat if this video blows up. But it was a nail salon in the middle of nowhere. Like, we're talking town in the middle of nowhere. And I go through and I go, okay, is there an Xfinity store in this? Maybe I just got a couple numbers wrong in the address. Because here's the thing. The town name, the state name, and the zip code all were correct. If any of those were flip-flopped, then you would expect them not to match up with each other. You get what I'm saying? Like, imagine the zip code was wrong, but then the town name was right, or vice versa. They wouldn't line up. No, all three of those lined up, which meant I heard that correctly. But the number, maybe that was wrong. So I look up Xfinity in this town. There is no store. There is no warehouse. There is nothing Xfinity in this location. So I turn to the nice lady in FedEx and I go, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to figure this out. But yeah, I'm not shipping my phone to a random nail salon. And she's like, yeah, that looked really suspicious. I don't doubt you. I think that's the right move. So I come home and I just have to tell you this story. And I'm going to leave my thoughts really brief because I want you to chime in about what you think. But here's what I think. I think there's something seriously wrong with how we do customer service. And the sad truth is it's going to make AI seem like the better alternative. But AI is only one part of potentially the solution. And in reality, we just need people who actually can hit the big red button behind the glass, right? Break glass in terms of emergency. We need people with agency, people who can do things. Kind, nice people who can do things, because ultimately otherwise, I'm in an okay situation in my life at this point. 10 years ago, this would have been devastating. Right now, I can look at it and go, you know what? My wife, who doesn't really care what phone she has, maybe I'll just give her a nicer phone and just pay this off, give her a nicer phone. That, I can do that. But I'm just thinking through and I'm going through all these situations where if the margin had just been this much different, how screwed I'd be. That's what I'm going through. So what are your thoughts? Have you ever been in this type of situation? Have you ever been locked into this loop because I've gotten in this loop many, many times. I don't know whether I'm just doing something wrong or whether this is a common experience. So please chime in if you get stuck in this automation loop. And if you have any ideas, because honestly, I'm just sitting here and I'm going, if this is the way the world is going, we are all completely screwed. We don't need to be worrying about any nuclear bombs. We need to be worrying about upgrading our phone plan or getting groceries, because we're going to show up and they're going to be like, oh, you need to do this one thing to get what you want, to get your food. And then we go, okay, let me do that one thing. Well, you actually should have done this other thing first. And then you click there and it goes, well, because you didn't do the other thing, you can't do this. And you're just in this loop over and over again. Anyway, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed this story. And yeah, if you can avoid Xfinity, I would.